जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजना 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 यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे 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 जय निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Samsthapakacharya, Savior of the whole world, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 20, Conversation between Maitreya and Vidura, text number 30. Anyonya Shlesha Shleshaya Uttunga Anyonya Shleshayottunga Nirantara Payodhara Nirantara Payodhara Sunasam Sudvijam Snigdha Sunasam Sudvijam Snigdha Hasa Leela Avalokanam Hasa Leela Avalokanam Anyonya Shleshayottunga Nirantara Payodhara Sunasam Sudvijam Snigdha Hasalila Valokana. Anyonya Shleshayottunga Nirantara Payodhara Sam Sudvijam Snigdha Hasalila Valokana. Anyonya Shleshayottunga Nirantara Payodhara Sunasam Sudvijam Snigdha Hasalila Valokana. Samnigdha Hasalila Valokana. Matajis? Nobody? Anyonya Shleshayottunga Nirantarapayodhara Sunasam Sudvijam Snigdha Hasalila Valokana Anyonya to each other Shleshaya because of clinging Uttunga raised Nirantara without intervening space Payaha dharam breasts Sunasam shapely nose Sudvijam beautiful teeth Snigdha lovely Hasa smile Leela avalokana sportful glance. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Her breasts projected upward because of their clinging to each other, and they were too contiguous to admit any intervening space. She had a shapely nose and beautiful teeth. A lovely smile played on her lips, and she cast a sportful glance at the asuras. Please repeat this translation. Her breasts projected upward because of their clinging to each other, and they were too contiguous to admit any intervening space. She had a shapely nose and beautiful teeth. A lovely smile played on her lips, and she cast a sportful glance at the asuras. Text 31 is together with text 30. I shall read by myself. Text 31. Guhantim vridayatmanam Neelalakavaruthinim Upalabhya asura dharma Sarve sammumuho striyam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. Adorned with dark tresses, she hid herself, as it were, out of shyness. Upon seeing that girl, the asuras were all infatuated with an appetite for sex. Please repeat this translation after me. Adorned with dark tresses, she hid herself, as it were, out of shyness. Upon seeing that girl, the asuras were all infatuated with an appetite for sex. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The difference between demons and demigods is that a beautiful woman very easily attracts the minds of demons, but she cannot attract the mind of a godly person. A godly person is full of knowledge, and a demoniac person is full of ignorance. Just as a child is attracted by a beautiful doll, similarly, a demon who is less intelligent and full of ignorance is attracted by material beauty and an appetite for sex. The godly person knows that this nicely dressed and ornamented attraction of high breasts, high hips, beautiful nose, and a fair complexion is Maya. All the beauty a woman can display is only a combination of flesh and blood. Sri Shankaracharya has advised all persons not to be attracted by the interaction of flesh and blood. They should be attracted by the real beauty in spiritual life. The real beauty is Krishna and Radha. One who is attracted by the beauty of Radha and Krishna cannot be attracted by the false beauty of this material world. That is the difference between a demon and a godly person or devotee. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. In the previous verses we heard how Brahma created the Asuras. Then the Asuras attacked Brahma. Brahma gave up his body and that body turned into twilight, and the twilight looked like a form of a beautiful woman for the Asuras, and they got attracted to her and wanted to enjoy her. I had to mix Hindi also, some Hindi. Not required. Okay. So, such descriptions in the Bhagavatam, here detailed description is given. And who is giving this description? Maitreya Rishi is giving to Vidura. Maitreya Rishi is a great devotee, saintly devotee. He is, of course, full of transcendental knowledge. And Vidura is a sincere devotee inquiring about Krishna. So it is understandable that the Bhagavatam will describe beauty of Radha and Krishna, the spiritual world, and attract us towards that spiritual beauty. Krishna means all attractive. So just now, before this class, the wonderful Madhurashtakam we heard. It is composed by Sri Vallabhacharya. Everything about Krishna is sweet. Madhuradipate Akhilam Madhuram. And how it is Akhilam Madhuram, he is described in 8 verses. So beautiful description. So everything about Krishna is sweet. Krishna is supremely attractive. So why Bhagavatam doesn't just describe Krishna? Why they have to describe all these Asuras' attraction for flesh and blood, which is Maya? What is the need for describing these things? And to whom is Maitreya describing? He is describing to Asuras? No. He is describing to a saintly devotee. So therefore, many people think this Bhagavatam is not real Shastra. It is only some imaginary descriptions or fictitious descriptions of something about Krishna. But साथ में ये क्या दिया है? Description of Asura's attraction for some beauty of flesh and blood, Maya, material world. So why are such descriptions given in the Bhagavatam? Devotees may also ask this question. Now Bhagavatam describes the absolute truth, Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the source of everything. So everything means he is the source of this material world and he is the source of the spiritual world also. Even though he is a completely spiritual personality, his devotees are all spiritual beings, especially in the spiritual world. All are pure devotees. They have nothing to do with material beauty. They are never attracted by material beauty. And even in the material world, there are two categories of persons. Daivi Swabhava and Asuri Swabhava. 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It's explained by Krishna. These Daivi Swabhava, divine natured people, they are attracted by spiritual beauty only. That's what Prabhupada says in this purport. The difference between demons and demigods, demigods means divine natured people, demons are demoniac nature. So what is the difference? Beautiful woman in this material world can easily attract the mind of the demons. But this display of beauty of flesh and blood, material beauty, cannot attract the mind of a godly person. This is the important lesson for all of us. Prabhupada writing in the purport. So, there are two kinds of beauty in the material world. In the spiritual world, there is only one beauty, real beauty, spiritual beauty. So, material beauty means it is a display of the illusory energy, Maya Shakti. And this illusory energy, Maya, is one of the energies of Krishna. Krishna has principally three kinds of energies, of which one kind of energy is all of us, the living entities, both in the material world and the spiritual world. All living beings in the material world and the spiritual world. And even in the material world, both the devotees and non-devotees, demigods and demons, all are part and parcel of Krishna. All are living entities. All of them belong to Krishna. All of them are spiritual by nature. But Krishna has got two other kinds of energies also. The other two kinds of energies are the energy which constitutes the spiritual world. The spiritual world is made up of spiritual energy. And this material world we are living in, is made up of material energy. So in the spiritual world there is beauty, spiritual beauty. But in the material world there is spiritual beauty and there is material beauty also. Why? There are two kinds of beings in this material world. Dvabhuta loke, no. Dvabhuta sargau lokesmin daiva asura evacha. In this world, this material world, dvabhuta, two kinds of created beings are there. Some living beings, some jivatmas are daivi svabhava, godly nature, divine nature, sajjan, sat svabhava. And other kind of living beings are asuri svabhava, demoniac nature, asuras, demons, durjan. So these two kinds of beings are always there in the material world. Spiritual world, no demoniac nature, no demons, only devotees, only divine nature. So, in the spiritual world, because there are only devotees, there's only divine nature, therefore there is only spiritual beauty. And that spiritual beauty also, you have to understand this carefully. In the spiritual world, the spiritual beauty is the attraction of everyone for Krishna. And Krishna is not alone. Krishna is always with Radharani. So, the spiritual beauty for which everyone is attracted in the spiritual world is attraction for Radha Krishna, the beauty of Radha Krishna. In the material world, because there are two kinds of beings, divine natured and demoniac nature, demigods and asuras, Daiva Asura. So, the Devatas, the godly persons, the divine natured persons, the devotees in the material world, they are attracted by spiritual beauty. So, spiritual beauty means the beauty of Radha Krishna. Not the beauty of flesh and blood. Understand this carefully. Not material beauty. What's the difference between the beauty of material body and the beauty of spiritual body? Spiritual body is not made of matter. There is no flesh, blood, bones, stool, urine, all obnoxious things. What is there inside this body? Beautiful or otherwise? All bodies are made up of, material bodies are made up of same ingredients. Panchabhuta. Bhumirapo nalo vayu kham. Earth, water, fire, air, sky. But earth by itself is not bad smelling. Punyo gandha prithivyam cha. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, my inferior energy consists of 5 elements, 8 elements actually, out of which 5 are gross elements. Bhumi, earth, and earth is a source of all wonderful fragrances, punyo gandha. Punya gandha, all the wonderful fragrances in nature, nice fragrance from flowers, nice fragrance from leaves, from bark of the tree also. Sometimes nice fragrance is there. Just like sandalwood tree. The wood itself is so much fragrant. Then the fragrance which comes from different kinds of food stuff that we cook. The spices, aromatic spices, elaichi, long, dalchini, cinnamon, nice fragrance, very nice fragrance. And all that is coming from the earth. And earth is one of the energies of Krishna. Krishna is very sweet. Krishna's bodily fragrance is very, 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 very wonderful. This is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. To Sanatana Goswami, he is describing Krishna. So, all about Krishna is very nice. His sweetness, his beauty, the fragrance of his body, the fragrance of his creation, spiritual and material. Both are very fragrant. Nice fragrance. Punyo gandha prithivyam cha. But when these elements are combined by the action of three gunas, at the beginning of creation, what happens? First, the elements are generated. Mahabhutani ahankara buddhir avyaktamevacha. 13th chapter, 6th verse. If you study Bhagavad Gita carefully, everything is there. What is in the Bhagavatam? Everything is there in the Gita. But Bhagavatam explains the Bhagavad Gita elaborately. Bhagavad Gita just gives the principles, that's all. Bhagavatam, Vyasadeva has compiled, is a detailed presentation of the Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is like the preliminary study of Bhagavatam, or Bhagavatam is the detailed study of Bhagavad Gita. And therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, only two Shastra you have to study. Because the Vedas are very vast. Study all the Vedas. Kali Yuga it is impossible. And even in previous Yugas, it was difficult to study all the Vedas. Like even now you have descendants of those Vedic scholars from the previous time. Those who have studied and mastered one Veda, they're called, what are they called? Ekavedi. Something, I don't know. I forgot it. Those who have studied two Vedas, Dvivedi. And that Dvivedi has become Apabramsha Dubey. Shortened form. You heard, no? Surname, Dubey. What is this Dubey? Formerly, their actual surname was Dvivedi. Dvivedi. Prabhupada explains all this. In one lecture, he explains this. This is not what I am explaining. No. Prabhupada has explained this. And those who know three Vedas, Trivedi. Trivedi has become Tiwari. And Chaturvedi, those who know all the four, studied all the four Vedas and they're scholars in four Vedas. Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda, all the four, they studied. Chaturvedi. That Chaturvedi, what has it become now? Chaube. Anyway, that apart, So in Kali Yuga, it's very difficult to study all the Vedas. So what Vyasadeva has done, he summarized all the Vedic wisdom into very, very short Bhagavad Gita. But Bhagavad Gita is not easy to understand because it's very, very condensed. Though Bhagavad Gita is also called Upanishad, Gita Upanishad, but actually it is not meant for intelligent class of Brahmanas. Bhagavad Gita is not meant for intelligent class of Brahmanas because Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharata. And Mahabharata is one of the itihasas. And itihasa is meant for Stri Shudra Dvijabandhunam Traina Shruti Gochara. Among the different classes of created beings, there are Brahmanas, Vaishyas, Shudra, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. They are the upper three classes. They are intelligent. Materially intelligent. We are talking of material intelligence. And then there are less intelligent, Shudra and Stri and Dvijabandhu. Dvijabandhu. What is Dvijabandhu? Shudra, you know, the fourth class of Varnashrama. And Stri, the women class. And Dvijabandhu. Dvijabandhu means they are born in Brahmin family or Kshatriya family or Vaishya family. All of them are called Dvija. But they don't have the qualifications, especially they don't have the intelligence of a Brahmana or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya. So such people are called Dvijabandhu. They are also classified in the same category as Stri Shudra. Stri Shudra Dvijabandhu Nam, all these three classes of people. Trai, these three classes, Na Shruti Gochara. This is the description in the Bhagavatam. First canto, fourth chapter. And therefore, Vyasadeva, after compiling the Vedas, after dividing that one Veda into Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Tharva Veda, giving the philosophical essence of the Vedas in the form of Upanishads, then presenting the condensation of the Upanishads itself, because there are so many Upanishads, hundreds of Upanishads. Out of these hundreds of Upanishads, 108 are very important. 108 are very important. And out of the 108, 11 more are even more important. But still, Upanishads are difficult to understand. And that Upanishads, because people may not have so much time to study, Vyasadeva condensed the Upanishads into Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta Sutra. Each Upanishad has got so many verses. So all the Upanishads put together, so many hundreds or thousands of verses. But Vedanta Sutra is the Upanishads condensed into Sutra. Sutra means aphorism. Aphorism means very, very short portions of the shloka. Just like one verse in the Bhagavad Gita, one shloka. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattas sarvam pravartate iti matva bhujante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. So Krishna is explaining is the source of everything. Absolute truth is the source of everything. In the Vedanta Sutra, this fact that Krishna is source of everything is condensed in 3 words. Janmadhyasya yataha. 4 words actually. Janma adi yasya yataha. Janmadhyasya yataha. Short aphorism. It's called Sutra. Vedanta Sutra. This is the second Sutra. Vedanta Sutra. So like these sutras, in the Vedanta Sutra, 525 sutras. 525. Bas. Janmadhyasya yataha. Shastra yonitva. Tattvamasi. But Vyasadeva also realized this Shruti, 4 Vedas, hundreds of Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra, Trayina Shruti Gochara, they cannot understand these 3 classes. In human society, all meant for the human society. Human life is meant for self-realization. So human society, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, qualified people, they can understand. Dvija. But this Stri, Shudra, Dvija Bandhu, they cannot understand. So for them, he took compassion and he compiled the Mahabharata, Itihasa. Now Mahabharata also is 1 lakh verses. Who has time to read 1 lakh verses? Kali Yuga especially, no time. But Mahabharata is described as very easily understandable. Because it is meant for those who are not very intelligent. It's meant for the less intelligent. Stri, Shudra, Dvija Bandhu Nam, Trayina, Shruti Gochara. They can't understand the difficult to understand Vedas. So for them, Mahabharata, Itihasa, presentation in the form of story. Of course, these stories are not fictitious stories, they are real historical incidents. So he has described elaborately all the Vedic messages there in the Mahabharata. Entire Vedic message is there in the Mahabharata. But then people don't have time. Not only they are less intelligent, they don't even have time. Especially in Kali Yuga. So what did he do? He condensed the Mahabharata and presented in the Mahabharata itself the condensation of the message of the Vedas in the form of Bhagavad Gita. What did he do? He presented the essence of the Vedic wisdom given elaborately in the Mahabharata, easily understandable form, he condensed into Bhagavad Gita. Now Kali Yuga, people are so unfortunate that even this Bhagavad Gita, which is meant for Stri, Shudra, Dvija Bandhu, people are even lower than these 3 categories of people who can understand the Bhagavad Gita. They can't even understand the Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada says, big scholars. He met one big scholar in Russia, Professor Kotosky. Prabhupada was having a discussion with him when he'd gone to Russia, Moscow. So he's a professor of Indology. Indology means Vedic studies. Eastern wisdom, but especially Vedic studies. He's a big professor. And then when Prabhupada explained to him something about Bhagavad Gita, he is telling, Swamiji, there is no life after death. Prabhupada is shocked. Professor of Indology, he is supposed to be expert in Vedic studies and he is teaching also. Those who are interested in studying the Vedas, for them he is teaching. And he told Prabhupada, we have translated into Russian so many books, Vedic texts, and we have presented in Russian. And then he's teaching also. He's written books also and translated in Russian. And then he's telling, Swamiji, there is no life after death. And what is Bhagavad Gita teaching? You are not the body. Atma, you are Atma, you don't die. You are not the body, you are spirit soul. You don't have death. You are eternal. So this Professor Kotowski, not only Professor Kotowski, so many scholars, so-called scholars, even in India also, so many scholars, they don't know this. They don't know this. We don't die. We are spirit soul. We belong to Krishna. We don't belong to this material world. They don't know. It is given in the Gita. So even Bhagavad Gita they can't understand. What will they understand Vedanta Sutra? What will they understand Upanishad? What will they understand the Vedas? कुछ नहीं समझ में आता है. किसी को कुछ समझ में नहीं आता. Therefore, Vyasadeva, he has explained this Bhagavad Gita and the Vedanta Sutra also in the form of Bhagavatam is explained in great detail. In the Mahabharata also is explained. But Mahabharata, the problem is, Mahabharata contains something about material perfection called Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, and it also contains something about spiritual perfection, self-realization, Brahma Vidya. Both it contains. Bhagavad Gita is called part of Mahabharata. It is called Brahma Vidya. But Bhagavatam only contains spiritual wisdom, only contains subject matter concerning self-realization. There is nothing about dharma, artha, kama, moksha, material perfection. Nothing is there. What is this material perfection, dharma, artha, kama, moksha? Dharma is how to practice some religious principles. व्रत रखते हैं, यज्ञ करते हैं, हवन करते हैं, दान देते हैं, यज्ञ दान तप. And in that yajna dana tapa also there is karma kanda and jnana kanda. Karma kanda is meant for dharma, artha, kama, and that moksha, the fourth material perfection, liberation, that is there in the jnana kanda. And what is that jnana kanda? Material perfection. That I am actually God. But I have got this material body. So how to get rid of this material body? Anyway, material body we can get rid of when we die. But after death, if you don't get moksha, then you take birth again to stop this taking birth again getting material body. Moksha. Moksha means what? You become God. You become God. So this material perfection, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, is not there in the Bhagavatam. Is not there in the Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is Amala Purana. Amala Purana. There is no tinge of anything about material perfection. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha nahi hai. Only the fifth perfection, Panchama Purushartha. What is that? Ultimate self-realization. Krishna Prema. Prema Pumartho Mahan. Pumartha means Purushartha. Panchama Purushartha. And that Prema, Krishna Prema, is eternally established in everybody's heart. It is there in everybody's heart. It is the fundamental consciousness of every living being, called Krishna consciousness. What is the Krishna consciousness? Attraction for Krishna, love of Krishna, devotional service to Krishna, bhakti, Krishna bhakti. That is our nature. So, how to become Krishna conscious? By spiritual attraction. That is bhakti. Attraction for Krishna. Attraction for Krishna's beauty. Not attraction for material beauty. महाभारत में क्या है? दोनों है. Material beauty, if you want to get attracted by material beauty, what are all the various varieties of material beauty available in this world? वो describe किया है. Now somebody may say, भागवत में भी लिखा है ना, Asuras got attracted to this material beauty. यहाँ लिखा है ना, वर्णन है ना, है ना? So why this is there? Bhagavatam is Amala Purana. But here, Prabhupada says, the difference between demons and demigods is explained here. That material beauty, very easily demons get attracted. But material beauty cannot attract devotees in this material world. Demigods, divine nature, godly persons, they cannot get attracted. So therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, you engage this tongue in chanting Hare Krishna, in speaking about Krishna, glorifying Krishna, or you hear about Krishna, or you taste Krishna Prasadam, and you get attracted to Krishna. Spiritual beauty, spiritual taste, spiritual sound, spiritual melody, Kirtan, Krishna Kirtan, Hare Krishna Kirtan. Then automatically you will lose taste for all material things. Param drishtva nivartate. Bhagavad Gita, same thing is explained. Second chapter. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Simply understanding this material beauty is Maya, as sometimes Mayavadis explain. So we should stay away from material beauty. So they do severe tapasya. They undergo severe austerities. But without attraction for Krishna, param drishtva, you cannot lose attraction for material beauty. Rasavarjam, even if you abstain, जैसे चाय पीते हैं, पहले मालूम नहीं था चाय भी एक तरह का इंटॉक्सिकेशन है, बिकॉज वी बिकम एडिक्टेड टू टी. चाय नहीं पियेंगे तो दिन शुरुआत नहीं होता है, कुछ भी काम नहीं कर सकते हैं, हेडेक आता है, डल रहते हैं. चाय पियेंगे जोश आ जाएगा. हाँ, तो चाय कैसे बंद करें प्रभु जी? कम टू कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस, चाय बंद करना है, पाप कर्म बंद करना है। 4 तरह के पाप कर्म। एक तो व्हाट इज दैट? नशीली पदार्थ, नशा देने वाला। तो हम तो कुछ नशा वाला कुछ नहीं लेते हैं, हम वो बियर विस्की कुछ नहीं का, अंग्रेजी शराब भी नहीं पीते हैं, देशी शराब भी नहीं पीते हैं, हम तो भक्त हैं। अच्छा, चाय कॉफी पीते हैं आप? अरे, चाय कॉफी नशीली है, इट इज इंटॉक्सिकेशन, हम तो जानते नहीं थे। अच्छा, अभी बंद कर दो। अरे, बंद करना आसान नहीं है प्रभु जी, चाय कॉफी बंद करना आसान नहीं है। So this is where Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prabhupada, they teach us. You drink the nectar of Krishna consciousness, automatically you give up all this material tasty things. You taste Krishna Prasad, you lose attraction for all that outside food, attractive food. Gobi Manchuri. केसी दास रसगुल्ला, हल्दीराम मिठाई। व्हाट इज फेमस? हल्दीराम का क्या फेमस है? सोन पापड़ी। हाँ, व्हाट इज फेमस हल्दीराम का? सोन पापड़ी। बीकानेर वाला मिठाई वाला अभी तो लेटेस्ट है ना, बीकानेर भुजिया। So all that attraction you will lose when you come to our temple and taste the wonderful prasadam. Automatically you lose. That is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. You hear the description in the Bhagavatam about Radha Krishna's beauty, and you hear about asuras getting attracted by imaginary beauty. What are they getting attracted to? Twilight. Twilight, they're imagining some form of woman. They're imagining. काल्पनिक है ये वास्तविक सौंदर्य नहीं है. This is not real beauty. This is imaginary beauty. Just like the material beauty of a beautiful woman. What is it made of? Shankaracharya says, Prabhupada quotes Shankaracharya here. I'll read that verse and I'll close this discourse. Nari stanabhara nabhi desham drishtva maga moha vesham etan mamsa vasadi vikaram manasi vichintya varam varam. What is the meaning of this? Having seen the supposed beauty of a woman's heavy breasts, these asuras got attracted, no, to the breasts of this womanly form of twilight. Thin waist, sudvijam sunasam, snigdha hasa. Do not become agitated and illusioned. Shankaracharya is advising, don't become illusioned or attracted. Why? For these attractive features are simply transformations of fat, mamsa, vasa means flesh. So these are transformations of fat, flesh, various other disgusting ingredients. Mamsa, vasa, adi, vikara. What is inside this body, however beautiful the body is? Blood, mucus, flesh, bones, all horrible things. So Shankaracharya is telling, contemplate on what is the real thing inside, not what it looks like outside. Very beautiful. But what is it made of? And Krishna's beauty, what is Krishna's inside? Only spirit, spiritual substance, Satchidananda Vigraha. Krishna's form is Brahma Samhita, Satchidananda Vigraha. So that substance is spiritual substance. It is very, very attractive. Million times. Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Sobham. This is Krishna's beauty. So when you get attracted to Krishna's beauty, now somebody will say that in the material world, men are attracted to women, women are attracted to men. So for Mataji, it's very easy to get attracted to Krishna because Krishna has a male-like form. Correct? But men don't get attracted to other men generally. So how do we get attracted to Krishna? And Krishna has got a male form. So Krishna has got a feminine counterpart. This is what Prabhupada reveals in the Bhagavatam, Krishna book. 10th canto of the Bhagavatam reveals this. Radharani is non-different from Krishna. She is Krishna's another form. Form of Krishna's Hladini Shakti. Krishna's spiritual energy. There is one pleasure potency. Hladini Shakti. The Hladini Shakti has got a transcendental form. And that transcendental form of Hladini Shakti is present in the spiritual world as beautiful women counterparts, consorts of Krishna, Narayana, Rama, Sita Ram. So Sita Devi is Hladini Shakti of Lord Rama. Lakshmi Devi is Hladini Shakti of Narayana. Radharani is Hladini Shakti of Krishna. So, to get attracted by Radharani, but Krishna is never alone. Krishna is always with Radharani. Radharani is never alone. She is always with Krishna. Lakshmi is never alone. Lakshmi is always with Narayana. Narayana is never alone. Narayana is always with Lakshmi. Where? In the spiritual world. Please understand this point. In the material world, Narayana is there in our heart. Krishna is there in our heart. Paramatma. Paramatma is alone. The yogis are searching for Paramatma. God in the heart is Paramatma. But Paramatma is alone. Whereas in the spiritual world, Krishna, Narayana, Rama, they are never alone. Always Krishna is with Radharani. Radharani is always with Krishna. Narayana is always with Lakshmi. Lakshmi is always with Narayana. Rama is always with Sita. Sita is always with Rama. But the pastimes of the Lord are little interesting. Once when Bhrigu Rishi, he went and kicked the chest of Narayana in order to test who is the greatest among Trimurti, Brahma, Shiva and Vishnu. Vishnu is Narayana. Brahma and Shiva are demigods, devatas, subordinate to Vishnu. So who is the supreme? So to test the sages, they told Bhrigu Rishi, you go and test them. Who has got the maximum tolerance? He is the greatest. So he went and tested, and to test he insulted Brahma mentally. he insulted Shiva verbally. And Vishnu, he insulted physically. He kicked Vishnu on the chest. But Brahma and Shiva, they got completely angry, disturbed, upset with Bhrigu simply by some mental offense or some verbal offense. But Vishnu, the worst kind of offense, physical offense, kicking on the chest, Vishnu did not get offended. Vishnu did not get upset. On the other hand, he told Bhrigu, my chest is as hard as a stone. So he began to massage Bhrigu's feet. Lakshmi Devi was sitting there next to Narayana. She became angry against his Bhrigu. How dare you even touch my Lord's transcendental form? You rascal! Get out of here! Then Narayana pacified her. But she would not give up her anger against Bhrigu. And Narayana is trying to tell her, please excuse him. She could not give up her anger. Out of anger, he came to the material world. She disappeared from the spiritual world. So this is a Leela of Lakshmi and Narayana. It's a Leela. So sometimes in the material world, Narayana is alone. Sometimes in the material world, Rama is alone. In the spiritual world, Rama is always with Sita. Because there are no demons in the spiritual world. Ravana, Bhrigu Rishi, not in the spiritual world. Okay? So, spiritual world, there are no demons. There is no question of separation between Radha and Krishna. Material world, Krishna Leela mein, kabhi Radharani will be alone in Vrindavan. Why? Radharani, all the Brajavasis. Krishna said, I'll go to Mathura. This Kamsa is harassing the Yadus, the Yadavas. So finish off this Kamsa, finish off my business and come back in 3 days. And he went, he never came back to Vrindavan. Rather, he went to Mathura. From Mathura, he went away, even far away from Mathura also. Mathura is nearby, Vrindavan. Mathura se Dwarka chala gaya. And Dwarka, what is he doing? Mathura, he was busy fighting with all those other associates of Kamsa who were attacking Mathura. Dwarka chala gaya. And he is marrying 16,108 queens. And he is having 16,108 palaces. And he is happily living there. So the gopis, all the Brajavasis, they got upset. Krishna has not come back. Krishna has not come back. Krishna has not. And they're getting news. Krishna is busy in Mathura. So they're waiting. Mathura, he's busy. Okay, he's going to come back after his Mathura business over. But after Mathura business, he goes to Dwaraka. Aur bhi dur chala gaya. Even more, they are grief-stricken. So especially the gopis, it is said, whole rest of their life, they were just crying. We cannot live without Krishna. So in the material world, in Krishna's pastimes, Rama's pastimes, Narayana's pastimes, as Balaji, they are separated from their feminine counterpart. But in the spiritual world, there is no separation. Therefore, you should get attracted to the spiritual world situation of Radha Krishna. The spiritual world's situation of Sita Ram. Always together. What is that? See, spiritual world situation, Sita Ram, Always together. Never Sita is alone, nor Rama is alone. Spiritual world, Radha and Krishna, never alone. Always together. That's why Prabhupada says here, the real beauty is Krishna and Radha. One who is attracted by the beauty of Radha and Krishna. That's why we worship Radha and Krishna together. We never worship Sita, Krishna and Radha separately. Never, never. Devotees, real devotees of Radha Krishna or Sita Ram or Lakshmi Narayan, they always worship Lakshmi and Narayan together. Asuras, they want to enjoy Lakshmi separately. They want to enjoy Lakshmi separately. Ravana, he wants to enjoy Sita Devi separately. That's why he kidnapped Sita Devi. You see? Asuras, they want to always enjoy women alone. Always alone they want to enjoy, separately. So this is demoniac mentality. Whereas devotees, they always want to serve Radha and Krishna together, want to please Radha and Krishna together. So therefore, our philosophy is worship Radha and Krishna together, not separately. Worship Lakshmi and Narayana together, worship Sita and Ram together, never separately. So that is being explained here. The Asuras are attracted by material beauty, but the divine nature people are attracted by the spiritual beauty. Spiritual attraction is for Radha Krishna, not Radharani separately, not Krishna separately, no. And even those of demoniac nature, if they take to Krishna consciousness, they can become purified of their demoniac mentality. Asuri Swabhava, they can give up. And they can become attracted to spiritual beauty. And by attraction to spiritual beauty, they lose attraction for material beauty. We'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.